Hi. So I'm just a day late to this monthly movie review. It's fine. It's because I've only watched this month's movie yesterday, um, in the movies in the cinemas, and I was too tired to record right after coming back from home, so I'm recording it now. So the movie that I watched for March is Exit 8, which came out this year. So it's a Japanese movie. I've actually just learned yesterday after coming back from the movies that it's actually based on a game that pretty much has the same concept, but in the movies they have more storyline. There's actually storyline, whereas in the game it's just the same thing over and over again. So what do I mean by same thing? So if you've ever heard of the movie, or maybe if you've seen the trailer, it's about this man who is stuck in an underground tunnel walkway. He just kept going back, walking around in a loop, and he just can't seem to get out. And then later, after some few walking around in the underground subway walkway, he noticed that there's actually a way to get out. There's some instructions for him to help him get out of the loop, of the maze, of the trap, or whatever it is. Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows about that. Even though I've already finished watching the whole movie, I myself don't know what happened. How did it come out to be? What is it actually? It was never explained, which is fine. Not everything in the movie has to be explained, because I think when people do too much explanations in the movie, it kind of ruins everything. So I think being sort of vague, open for interpretation, I think that's good. So here are some of my interpretations, while I'll be spoiling the whole movie for you, because I don't think you're gonna watch it, right? I'm talking this to the specific person that I'm making this video for. I don't think you're gonna watch it because I don't think you're gonna like this kind of thing, but so that's why I'm gonna just tell you the spoilers. So here is a full spoiler of the movie. So the movie starts with our main guy in the train. Before I say anything, I was expecting this movie to be like a horror, or a horror, but it's more of like a thriller, I think. Can I say it's psychological? I think it's pretty everything in this movie is psychological. There isn't any ghost or supernatural beings, at least not at least not very apparent that there are supernatural entities in this movie, but there are some few good jump scares. There isn't anything that I think it stays well in the uncanny valley territory. It doesn't go beyond that, which I think is a good thing. Okay, so coming back to the spoiler of the movie. So we start with this guy in the train, and he's just scrolling through his phone in a very packed train during the rush hour, which is in the morning. He is on his way to his work, and then there's a baby crying in the train, and then everyone seems to doesn't care, or just minding their own business, until one guy exploded, basically telling the baby to STFU. And then he scolds the mom, telling her why is she taking a baby during a peak hour in a packed train, crying and everything. I kind of get what this man is coming from, especially understanding the working culture in Japan. But then yeah, the mom can't do anything anyway, and the baby can't do anything. I mean, yeah, of course the baby can just stop crying, but how do you do that, you know? So, and then he got a phone call, As far as I know, that was the first jump scare of the movie, because like the main character has the same ringtone as my boss. So I got scared for a bit. Like it's personal. It's personal. And then he got a call from his ex-girlfriend saying that she's pregnant and she doesn't know what to do, whether she wants to keep it or like abort it. And then he was shocked, of course. He also didn't know what's the answer for that, and he says that he's gonna see her at the hospital. But as he was walking, as he was talking to the phone, you notice that there are less people like around him from like a very packed train, and then suddenly he was alone on a pathway to like a certain tunnel or something, a walkway, underground walkway. And then once he put down the phone, he just walked straight, because he thought that that's the path to like wherever he was going. But as he walks, as he walked through the hallway, there was like another man coming from the other end and just walked past him, which is like normal. You see people on like underground tunnels for train stations. So he walks to the front, straight, just keep going straight, never turning back. And then he's back at the same place. And then that same man is like walking past him again. On the second round, he noticed something, but he just, maybe it was like his head playing tricks on him. So he just kept going. He just went straight again. And then he went back again, and I realized it's the same exact thing happening again. Like him walking, and then it's the exact same setup with posters and like doors and like security cameras, and the same man walking past him. Yeah, and then by the third time he realized that something's going on, something's not right. So maybe he tried to go back, and then same thing again. He just, everywhere he goes, it's the same thing, it's the same place, it's the same man, same posters, same door. So until to a point where he noticed there's an information board on the wall that says, let me try to phrase it simply. Do not overlook any anomalies. If you've seen any anomalies, turn back immediately. But if you have not experienced any anomalies, go straight. Don't turn back. So that was the instructions. So if you follow these instructions, you can finally be able to exit through gate 8. So the setup was, you will start at gate 0, and then if you follow through the instructions, you try to look through everything that's around you. If you did not notice any weird things happening, you can just go straight. Or if you notice anything weird happening, you can go back. So if you're right, the number would go out every time. But if you did something wrong, you went back when you're supposed to go straight, it will start back at 0. So that's the setup. So these people are trapped. This guy is trapped in this weird sort of maze or trap where he needs to be very focused, very critical, very not stressed, I guess, in order for him to finally be able to leave. So I was surprised that he was not very much. I think we can see that he was scared, but he accept the idea that he needs to escape by following the instructions very fast. If it was me, I would probably be like, what the hell is it? I would probably like sit down, try to gather my thoughts for a bit, and then I'll start. But in this guy just immediately, goop, I got instructions, I'm gonna go. So he did pretty well for the first few rounds. Some anomalies were more obvious than others. Others were a lot more subtle. Yeah, and then there was just some jump scares in this. some anomalies were creepy, some were blatant, like, I don't know, it's like bombastic kind of anomalies, you know. The one that was the most, I think the creepiest ones for me is, there are two actually. So there are some like very subtle ones and very extravagant ones. The subtle ones is when he was, the man who was walking past him usually just ignore whatever, even if he says anything to him, he's not gonna like reply, he's just gonna keep walking. And then in one of the levels that he was at, he noticed that while he was trying to figure out what's different, the man who was walking beside him stopped. And when he looked back, that guy was just like smiling at him. It was so crazy. So the first time that I saw that, I was like, oh shit. That was like crazy, but the man didn't do anything. Yeah, that was scary. And then there was another one. This might seem very, very little, very insignificant, but I don't know why it scares me so much. It's when the kid noticed that the doorknob, instead of at the side, was like at the middle. So that's weird, and I find that very creepy. It gives this very uncanny valley, like this movie does very well being in like the uncanny valley territory. It reminds me of that movie Skinamarink in 2022, from 2022. I've never like fully seen that movie because I got so scared. It was so scary. The movie is about like just kids being at home, and then they woke up in the middle of the night and then noticed that the windows in their house are gone. And then that's like, I don't, there's no like clear danger. Like, let's just say this window is gone, there's no like clear danger. If that ever happens, I'm not gonna be like I'm not gonna like immediately die or anything, but it's so creepy that a window would be gone, so it would be just like walls here. So that's the kind of like creepiness that I get. It's like something that, you know, like nothing is like threatening you like immediately, but you know something is wrong. So that's the kind of vibe that I get from when the doorknobs went from the side of the door to the middle of the door. I don't know how to say it. It like creeps me out, man. And so those are some of the creepy things that was in the movie. And then, so this is another spoiler. There was like a few of the reveal scenes that I think was like very very cinematic for me, I guess. So that was, okay, this man already got through the 5th level. He's almost out at that point, when suddenly, like, so before this, as he already enters this area in this trap, he suddenly lost like connection to his phone, like his call got cut off. But once he got to level 5, he got a phone call from his ex-girlfriend. And at that point, like, if I'm in that situation, I would question myself as well. Is that an anomaly, or is that like real? Is this person actually calling me? How do I know that? So he was just talking with his girlfriend, and then she was just asking about, like, she didn't know what to do, she didn't know if she wants to keep the baby or not. And then they were just discussing, and then he was reflecting on that, and he said that he remembered back when he was in the train, and then when the baby was crying and the man scolded the baby or the mom, and he didn't do anything about it. He didn't try to defend the mom or the baby. So he felt like, if he can't even do that, how is he gonna be a father? You know, signaling that he's not ready to be a dad. So he was just talking like in the hallway, and then we see like back and forth the conversation between him and the girl. Like, the girl's just standing holding her phone, like talking, and he was just crying, and I felt so sad for him. He was just crying, and then as he was walking, and then eventually, like, he said, like, all right, I'm gonna go see you at hospital, wait for me. And then the girl said, yeah, she'll wait. And then as he walked past the whole walkway going to the next level, he noticed that the sign, the gate number, which was supposed to be 6, is now 0 again. So he got, and then the reveal was that as we see the scene of the girl like talking to him, the camera adjusts and she was actually in the hallway, meaning that she's not real. That wasn't the real girl who was talking to him. He was just talking to some kind of like, I don't know, anomaly, I guess. He got so frustrated and he was screaming, and it was like, and he has asthma, and he was so, I was so sad watching that because I can understand like his frustration. He was so, oh my god, I was so rooting for him, and then he was just like screaming, and then I got even more sad like after his breakdown. It just stood up again. It was like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And it was just gonna do it all over again, because like at that point, what are you gonna do? There's nothing else that you can do. You can't even jump off. I don't know why I say that, but like you can't even do anything. So the only way is to just like try to get out of there. So it's okay, it's okay. So he's just gonna try it all over again. He's gonna do everything all over again. And then so he noticed, yeah, and then after that round, he was trying to go to the next level, and he saw a kid. Suddenly there was a kid, and he was like, obviously this is not right. This is an anomaly. Not this kid never appeared before. So he turned back, but then the number didn't turn up. It stayed 0, meaning that the kid is not an anomaly. So he got a bit confused, but then he understands that maybe, I don't know, he just follows through. The kid just run to the front and he follows the kid, and somehow they both like going through the maze together. So as he was dealing with that, we also get another reveal that the man, so in the middle of this movie, we were watching the whole thing from the point of view of our main guy, and then suddenly as he was going through this, like after his breakdown, the camera suddenly follows the man who was just walking past, and it follows the face, and what originally is a stern face, like normal face, suddenly he gained expressions. As he gained expressions, we realized that he was also trapped in the maze. He's in the same position of our main guy, who was also trying to figure out ways to get out of that place. So he has his own version of like this maze. So as he was walking, and in his like at his stage right now, he's already with the kid. He's now trying to find the way out with the kid. So he does the same thing. He looks at the posters, this door, and things different. And then there's like a school girl like walking past, just like what he did. So he check, and the numbers keep going up, and then eventually in this one of the levels, the school girl suddenly talks to him. I don't know why he was like trying to entertain the girl, not entertain, like trying to like, oh, we should get out of here together. We should find ways to get out of here together. Like, boy, why are you so dense? This is obviously not something that should happen. I don't know. This is obviously an anomaly. Why can't you just go straight back? Why do you have to wait and talk with the girl and like laughing and then joking or whatever? I swear this guy is so dense. And then eventually the girl became creepy, so he went back immediately. And then at some point, he's not at he didn't reach the 8th gate yet, but he saw a stairs that leads out, which is obviously not real. But I guess if you're in that position, you're desperate, you're tired, you can't think straight. But so he tries to run off outside, thinking that is his escape. But the kid was trying to like stop him from doing that. But he didn't stop, so he just went out. And I think the cause of that is what made him being stuck in that maze forever. Like him making the decision to exit the gate, even though it's not a real one, it trapped him in there forever. That's what I think. That's my theory. Okay, so we're going back to the main guy. So honestly, I don't understand why the kid is not an anomaly, because okay, I think after he got together with the kid, I think the point of the story starts to get a bit more clear. Like, instead of just it's a movie about a creepy tunnel, a creepy walkway, there's actually some message going on here. So once he got together with the kid, so the same thing, going through anomalies, they work together, blah 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 blah. And then we learned that the kid is actually his son, his unborn son, which is why I had that question of, I don't understand why the kid is not an anomaly, because obviously the kid is not real because he's not born yet. He's not born yet. So why is he different? I don't know, man. But then if I want to ask about that, I can just ask, like, how is this place is even a thing? Because obviously it's not real. But I don't know. My theory would probably be that this whole thing is not real. It's just his imagination of him being scared of being a father, so he imagines all this kind of thing of being stuck and whatever. But the kid is like helping him finding himself. Maybe, I don't know. But I think the whole point, not the whole point, but if we want to go to that theory that it's probably not real, it's just a thing that happens to himself, that he thinks of himself, is I think the message of the thing is, it's gonna teach him a bit about parenting, because he himself said in the beginning that maybe he's not ready to be a parent. But then when you see him like protecting the kid, listening to the kid, talking with the kid, I don't know, making decisions as a father would be, maybe it shows that actually he's not a bad of a father at all. So which leads him to his final decision of, maybe, like, he didn't really say, but it seems like he's trying to keep the baby, trying to raise the baby together with his girlfriend. So yeah, so eventually, like, he got out. Him and the kid got separated, but he got out. I don't know what happened to the kid, to be honest. Maybe he got out too, but then he's not real at all. But I don't know. He got out. He finally, like, got together with the public again. I swear, like, if I'm in that situation, like, every day I go to work, I get so frustrated with all these people. Like, why there's so many people around me? Why there's so many people on this train? But if I have to experience that, I think, like, seeing people around me, like, after getting out from that maze, that will probably be like the most relieving thing ever. Like, I want to be around people at that stage. Maybe it's a lesson for me as well, to not be hateful so much. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he got out. He got integrated with the public again, and he's on his way to the hospital. So he got back into the train, and then this part, I've already guessed it, but I don't know what it meant. But he got back into the train, he put on his earphones, he looked at his phone, and the same thing from the beginning is happening again. Just like a loop. It's a loop again. So the baby is crying, the man is screaming, and then he's there. And then he was just like, he is aware of the situation. I guess he's aware that this thing is repeating again. And then he got emotional at that stage. I think my theory is that he realized that he's trapped in this loop. So he's not just trapped in that. Even outside, even if he already left the gate, escaped from the gate, he is now stuck in this loop that cannot be, like, it just keep repeating. And then he got emotional about it. But then after that, we saw him, like, trying to go towards the baby, and the movie ends, which I think means that he's gonna do something to the man, like maybe like scold him, like, hey, you shouldn't say that to the mother, you shouldn't do that to the baby or whatever, meaning that he had already learned his lesson about, like protecting of the female, protecting like vulnerable people, I guess, like the babies and such. So meaning that he already learned his lesson, I guess, in terms of like being kind to like children or whatever, which I think this movie, it's not what's the word, it's not a propaganda. I think this movie might be some kind of effort to like encourage more birth rates in Japan, because they have like really low birth rates, right? So I think they somehow like, the point of this movie is to like, to encourage it, because it's kind of weird that, I don't know, personally I think it's weird that a Japanese movie is talking about, like being a parent and everything. So I think it's kind of deliberate that they want to do a movie about this, just to instill some sense of like building a family within the Japanese community or whatever. So I guess thriller equals parenting. I don't know. Yeah. And I don't know how much of this review is already almost like half an hour video. I don't know how much of this review is gonna like help you understand about this movie. I say go watch it, even though I probably already spoiled everything, but it's fun. It's really fun. Yeah. So that's all for March movie review. I'll see you again hopefully in end of April and not in May, or maybe any other month. Thank you. Bye.